it's my pleasure to hand the baton over to Matt for one of his beautiful and brilliant transmissions.
For those of you who have been on some of the code calls in the past month, I want to make a slight divergence today. This is code, which is the Church of Direct Experience. And so often in our direct experience, we are focused on embodiment, actualization, and energetics, and giving the mind an opportunity to rest, which is so necessary. Our minds are so active. And the mind is an aperture of awakening, just like the rest of the beingness. So, as we endeavor into this topic today, I'm going to invite the mind back into the fold, back into the beingness, back into part of the way that we perceive self and reality. And I'm going to invite that in a different way. So the mind is used to being analytic, which means to break apart. And we know that in that process, there's a discerning, there's a judging, there's a comparing, there's a processing that often is very, um, maybe not strenuous, but perhaps um, disconnected from the rest of the beingness. There's another way to use the mind. And that is to allow the mind to stay open and let ideas land on the shore of your mind as a wave would land on the shore at the beach. And that doesn't mean that there has to be a lack of discernment or allowing in any sort of thought that doesn't feel right or true or good. Just as the beach, what needs to land and stay will land and stay, but there doesn't need to be effort to hang on to it. There's an allowing of that mind space that creates a natural receiving for that which is right and good, that which is true and useful, that which is meaningful, and moving towards the process of your own evolution and your own benevolent awakening. So, with that in mind, with that syncretic, that synthesis oriented, that allowing and receiving a mind on board, I'm going to share just a few slides to allow for a transmission of information. And then we're going to go directly back into practice with these ideas from a connected and collective state. I'm going to share these. Oops, wrong slides. Let's do these. Great. And Amber, can you give me a thumbs up if you can see that? Great. Okay, thank you. So we're talking about good today as a force, as an actual action in the world, as a subtle state, an energetic force, different than, say, magnetism, electromagnetism, or gravity, but from our heart's perspective and from our communal perspective, just as important. So, this is drawing from some of the awakened philosophies of the Greeks. And this is the symbol that we at the Temple of Wholeness have created for our entity, for the temple. And you can see these rings, these concentric, interpenetrating, interlocking, interweaving rings stand for three philosophical fundamentals, which you've seen probably in our conversation and all over the emails we've shared and everything else. And those fundamentals are goodness, truth, and beauty. Those three domains have three expressions, and that is art, morals, and science. That's the second set of rings. And then they have three gifts, which is light, love, and life. And our dedication at the Temple of the Wholeness is to the expression of these three sets of three. And knowing, as symbolized by these outer rings, that when we do that, it creates ripples of win, win, win. So when we hold these philosophical fundamentals in our heart, in our energy, in our mind, in our beingness, we are oriented towards the decisions and the processes and the actions that we participate in, creating benevolent wins for us, for those that we participate with, and those wins together create wins for all of humanity. Now, what does this have to do with goodness? Well, goodness and these three cycles and circles are connected, as I said, through the I, the we, and the it. These are the domains in which these gifts take place. So, as it happens, the it domain is things, it's physical, tangible objects in our space around us. And those manifest as matter, as I mentioned, science and technology, and are the objective part of nature and are the brilliance of the mind or the light. We have worked a lot in the temple and in these code sessions for growth and awakening of the I, the individual sovereignty and brightness and awakeness, our connection within and without. And that expresses in the three gifts as art, and you becoming an art, you being artfulness in your own life and the life of those around you. It's a very subjective inner part of the experience, and its gift is love. And what we're going to focus on today is the we, goodness, and community and society, operating from our highest reaches of morals and ethics, and that space that can only arise in between us. And its gift is life. So we know that in the world as it exists right now, the most important thing based on the way society has put itself together is stuff, material things accumulating both matter and objects. And below that is the I, our own personal experience. And then lastly is the we. So what this is manifested as is all of the attention and energy climbing up the pyramid so that matter, material, science, and technology mediates our entire experience. And I would be remiss not to mention that we are participating in that as connecting in this technologically mediated space on Zoom. And that's not all a bad thing. There are great gifts that have come from science, obviously. And it might be time for a correction. It might be a time in which the substrate of science and technology and the material, returns to supporting our individual experience, our awakening, our connection and healing. And that supports our societies and our interwoven, interpenetrating, and interconnecting way of being a we. So my bet is that, like many of the people that I've been having conversations with, being out in the public space, being in connection with other people doesn't feel as easy and open and natural as maybe it did in different parts of life. And we've been recognizing that and are inviting that connection to come back in. And today's discussion of the goodness is how to orient life, not forever, but in moments that we choose, as a being of the we first. That brightness of the we can really be the place in which transformation arises. And some people might ask, because we feel so divided, so disconnected as a society, how can we do that? How might this take place? Well, my best answer is to be in proximity with other human beings, doing very real things, being a source of connection, being a source of participation with each other, nervous system to nervous system, energy to energy, smile to smile, and heart to heart. And as the space for these physical interactions continue to grow, we delight in the gift and the opportunity to be participating in these tech-mediated spaces as well. So all of that being said, we're going to let the mind relax. We're going to come back into our bodies. And I'm going to lead a practice for connecting from the we and leading back towards the I, and letting the benevolence and the goodness that arises from that space ripple out and create the better world we all know is possible and we've been feeling arising within us and the connections that we're making. So I'm going to invite you again into this community of practice by closing your eyes. Letting that mind relax open. And instead of starting with the I, I'm going to invite you to start with the us. That the we on this call becomes an individual. And all of your neighbors in meditation and all of your co-participants in this experience become an extension of you didn't even know was missing. Didn't even know that you were reaching out for. Didn't even know that you were longing to be in the depth of connection with. And you experience this we as me. I am we. The we is I. And in that experience, you may even feel the deep resonant pulses of ancestral experiences in which our survival depended on being a we. We had to navigate landscapes and environments and experiences where a cohesion of we was so natural, so normal, so right, so effortless. You may feel the pulses and the rememberings of that experience. And you may feel the resonant emanation of all of us on this call having that same remembering. So you feel the past moving through all of us into this present moment. And we are connected. We are a coherent collective remembering, a drawing forward and drawing forth back into the now from those times where the we was the I. And in the same way, in those ancient memories that you have, where the person's hut, cave, teepee, whatever mode of society that you're imagining and envisioning, where you would arrive as the sun rose and it was just so natural and normal to be in life together. You may bring that back into this moment where you have that same experience with your neighbors, your coworkers, your family, the people that you run into at the coffee shop every morning. that we is this I. And should we choose to, we can participate in that way from a place of genuine curiosity about the other. I wonder how the universe is manifesting through this human in this moment. I'm so genuinely curious how spirit is arising in this other embodied human. I wonder what the nature of the awakening moment is bringing to the shores of consciousness for this individual right now. We've been habituated in the past number of years to divide and to assume that an issue, an abstraction of society, an agenda, some political stance should be the way that we're judging who is safe and who is not safe to connect with. And while that is a meaningful sphere of life, my bet is that there are many on the call who are feeling the madness of that abstraction has gone out of control and been allowed to run the show of your mental and emotional life. That it of an issue, of an abstracted concept, is in between you and this other human being's authentic, natural connection. The goodness arises in society when we start with that curious connection. We start with an assumption that the deep, intrinsic, natural features of our beingness are the same, regardless of the expression, that we all want connection, that we all want closeness, that we all want to be a part of something meaningful, that we're all here to do good, be good, feel good. We're all here for a reason that can be amplified for each other and by each other. As you're feeling that as you're feeling that arising connectedness as a feature of your direct experience, as you're feeling that awakening and remembering inside of you, I'm going to invite you to let a ripple of this moment spread out into the future of your day. Whether you're on the beach, in a park, in a grocery store, at home with the family, no matter where you are, you feel that genuine connected curiosity. You feel that intrinsic unity. You feel that fundamental I-ness of spirit inside this other person. And from this space, whatever the connected conversation, connected experience that wants to arise has space to do so. It might be a smile. It might be a simple acknowledgement. It might be a compliment. It might be a question. It might be an embrace. But you know that from your embodied, connected, and discerning space, that spirit is arising in this person the same way that spirit is arising in you. You will feel that connection. You will feel that opportunity for re-sparking the we. Outside of division, outside of abstraction. Allow for a moment just to let that ripple into the future moment land in your beingness. And just give this 30 seconds for you to envision from your mind, from your soul's eye, that one connection. Mm. Beautiful. So beautiful, that space that you're creating. I'm going to invite us to notice that it's beautiful to connect with others who are like us. And in another way, it's actually much more satisfying and novel and interesting to create this connection with people who we might not think are like us. Who, if we used our analytic and dividing oriented mind, we might be convinced we're different. We might even have a judgment about. The amount of novelty and information in those connections when the authentic arising occurs, when the connection is real and open-hearted, is a vastly useful and important source of energy in our life. This is unity, my friends. This is where the we arises, becomes so compelling, so very real, that it in fact becomes more real than those things that we have been told that we should argue about, that we've been invited to see another person as an other, belonging to a different group, a different class. The same way awakening arises in the I, awakening can arise in the us as well. And we at the temple believe that this is one critical way forward. It must be acknowledged, owned, accepted, and embodied. No outside force is coming to reweave the social, connected human fabric. It's got to happen in all of our hearts, in all of our bodies, in all of our deeds. And we trust your knowing. We trust your acknowledging of right timing. We trust that you know without pressure that when it's right, it's right. And I'm personally in the enjoyment of all those future moment sparks I'm feeling in your timeline. All those unanticipated smiles that you're in the giving and receiving of. As a reweaver of the collective fabric, recreating the tapestry of humanity. You are all natural saints and sages, and we appreciate your work in that. This is the good. You are the good. Your actions are the good. is so critical, so necessary, and you are so capable. Thank you so much for being a battery, an oscillator, a being who takes up this charge. Thank you so much for being a force of change. As we come back into the space together, I have the delight of introducing a deep embodiment of that transmission, a delightful force of beauty and awakening and aliveness. Miss Saida Desilets, who will lead us in a prayer. Thanks, Saida.
Thank you, Matt. That was really delicious. And thank you to everyone who's here. Your presence is really juicy. So for the prayer, for me, prayer is happening all the time when we're genuinely engaging with life. So I want to start with that, where we've already entered prayer in this experience this morning. And for this particular prayer, I would love to invite, if you can, to lay right back down. We're going to melt into Lover Earth and reconnect with that beloved communion with the earth, with nature, and one another. As you were speaking, Matt, that's what came to me, is we isn't just humanity, we is all of life. So as we get into a comfortable, receptive, surrendered, relaxed body space, let's take 3 connected breaths together, breathing first into our hearts. And just letting out a nice sigh. Just, breathing now into your belly. And again, melting as you exhale and just and breathing into the full connected space that is your body. Melting open. I'd like to invoke Lover Earth, as well as the quality of beloved, and start with the deepest gratitude. Thank you. Thank you for my life. Thank you for this moment. Thank you for the beauty that washes through me and washes through you and washes through all. Thank you for this breath. Thank you for the emanation of joy, of turn on, of life pulsing in all parts of me, in all parts of you. Thank you for letting me see the truth in myself, in another, in life, that beauty, that eminent, that profound connection. And that with every breath, I am making love with life, breathing it all in deeply, nourishing. And with every exhale, nourishing outwardly that which receives my breath. Every breath, a true act of communion. Every breath, shameless, true, curious. Thank you. Thank you for this moment. Thank you for the heat in my body, the heat in the earth, the heat radiating down through the rays of the sun, the heat of connection. the heat of communal heart, all hearts beating. Thank you. Thank you for letting me remember that there is no way I cannot be connected. I am always connected through my breath, through my heartbeat. And if I feel disconnected, thank you for showing me that with one breath, I can reconnect to myself, to other, to life. Thank you. And feel right now your whole body being held and supported by Lover Earth. And for a moment, give deep, deep thanks for that consistent support. They say the only constant is change, but they forgot there's another constant, and that is the presence of Lover Earth. Unwavering, deep, erotic lovership with Earth. Never wavering, always nurturing, always enlivening. So breathe, beloveds, breathe their deepest gratitude for this moment, for the life in your body, for the life in Lover Earth, for the life that we see in one another. And today, just for today, perhaps everyone you meet is beloved. So perhaps today, just for today, sending your prayer out with every breath, with every contact of eyes, smiles, or even just the soft energetics of presence. And for a moment, allow the prayer to deepen into silence, that vivid, pulsating, alive stillness. And we'll be here for a few more breaths. Feeling through your beautiful sensual body, the communion with life. Every tree, every flower, every bird, every being aware in holy connection with you. You cannot hide, it's deeply intimate. So just for today, imagine that you are being seen and seeing deeply. You are desired as much as you desire. Lover Earth aches for your aliveness. For a moment, feel that aliveness. Giving thanks. I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm alive. And feel now the beloved in your own heart, in the hearts of all the beautiful beings in your life, including all those we have not yet had the pleasure to connect with. And give thanks for this intimate lovership. And give thanks for how you ignite in the presence of other, and how others are ignited by your gift of presence. Thank you for you, for your beauty, for your gifts. Thank you for this beautiful community. May each heart ripple out to the greater community. Thank you, Amber and Matt, for holding this portal. Thank you to life for pulsing within all of us. That is the we, that pulse. I'll complete my prayer with 3 full breaths. We in French means yes. So this next 3 breaths, feel the yesness of this day. Breathing in, letting out a yes. Yes. 2 more. Yes. 1 more as an offering to all. Yes. Good.
Thank you, Saida.
Mhm.
Mhm. Grateful to this woman who is such an embodiment of life itself. Thank you.
Beautiful. Amazing. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, with that, we will close this circle for today with absolute gratitude and offer these ripples up for the benefit of all of life, for all who are called to find their way into the communities and circles that help to create more goodness in the world, that create more connection and unity within our incredible diversity. Blessings to each and every one. Bless your day. Bless each one you come into contact with, and continue to spread these ripples forward.